The past couple of times that Bitcoin has gotten into a new all time high, it's shortly been rejected and came back down to find some support. But when is this thing actually going to go parabolic, and is it going to continue lower from where it's at right now? Rob Reed says, should we be buying the dip or just wait on the sidelines? What are your thoughts? Well, I still think that the bull market is probably going to go until somewhere around October, maybe midway through October, and any kind of a dip in the meantime is probably a really great buying opportunity as long as we don't start making lower lows and lower highs. All we've seen on a higher term time frame is higher highs and higher lows here in the bull market. And on a shorter term time frame on this daily chart, as you can see, we have re-entered an uptrend. Yeah, we did poke our heads back up into a new all-time high, but I still think that we're finding some support here at the previous all-time high, or at least within the range of the all time high. It's not perfect and it never is, but we do have a lot of support here right underneath us. Plus, there is a bullish divergence that looks like it's going to hopefully be playing out here pretty soon with these lower lows on the RSI and these higher lows on the price. If we break down below about $100,000, then we could enter a short term downtrend, but we still got the 200-day moving average beneath us acting as support, and we won't even make a major lower low until we get down below $74,000. Plus, if this thing is ever going to go parabolic in this bull market, then I think that $120,000 mark that I've been talking about as a price target wouldn't even qualify as parabolic. And in a matter of percentages, we might as well already be there. So hopefully, this thing is going to go exploding way past that price target. And hopefully, it's going to make it to some of those higher price targets that many people are talking about, around $200,000 or so. But honestly, nobody knows how high it's going to go or how we're going to get there. But what is pretty obvious is that if you zoom out far enough, Bitcoin just continues to go up and to the right. We have been seeing diminishing returns over the last few bull markets, and if those diminishing returns do continue, then maybe eventually it's going to go to the downside. But I've been talking about this S curve for quite some time, and if it's going to ever play out, then I think this bull market might be the one because we've never seen such institutional and government adoption as we've been seeing recently. And all of these institutions and governments are going to be much less prone to emotional price action and panic selling. So if Bitcoin is going to see the adoption curve follow that of what we saw during the adoption of the internet, then I think eventually we are going to see this S curve playing out. But only time is going to tell when it actually starts to do this. And maybe we've got one more significant bear market ahead of us. But honestly, I think this is as good of a bull market as any to start to see this happening. Today we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking at the Economic Club of Chicago, but nobody really cares about these inter FOMC meeting speeches that Jerome Pal actually does. And I don't know if enough people are going to be paying attention for it to actually have any kind of an impact on the price. If he says something that nobody's expecting, like something super dovish, maybe he's going to indicate that we're going to be seeing a rate cut sooner than people are expecting at this time. Then, if that was the case, yeah, it could have some impact on the price. But honestly, I kind of doubt it. And the real thing that people pay attention to when it comes to Jerome Powell is those FOMC meetings, which aren't going to be happening for about another month or so. Donald Trump recently raised tariffs again from 25% to 50% on steel and aluminum. And the mainstream media, for some damn reason, is saying that that's going to have an impact on the price of groceries, which doesn't make sense to me. So maybe we've got a little bit of fear to deal with. I don't really see why people would be scared, but people are pretty finicky. Plus, a lot of people are talking about this CME gap that happened, I guess, about a month ago between about $91,000 and $92,000 on the CME chart. So if we're going to see any more kind of downward pressure, then maybe these are the places that it's going to come from. But if you ask me, looking at the weekly chart, we did see about 7 weekly green candles, which is more than we almost ever see. So a little bit of a sell off and this red candle being put in is just healthy in my opinion. And I'm just glad that we're getting it out of the way because we probably just had to get that done so that we can continue to the upside from here. So unless we start to head down below about $93,000, I think this RSI divergence is going to be playing out eventually. And any kind of a dip in the meantime is probably a great buying opportunity, because if this bull market is going to continue out until October, then I think hopefully we've got some significant upside still ahead of us. The only thing that gives me any kind of pause here is that maybe we're going to be seeing a double top formation, which in the past has indicated the tops of some of the bull cycles, but it's much too early to tell. And my gut is just telling me that we're probably going to continue up until the end of the traditional time frame that the bull cycle ends. There's really only two ways that this can go. Either we're going to see a huge supply crunch and things are going to go parabolic from here, maybe playing out that S curve that I've been talking about and everybody now is starting to also talk about. Either that or all of these institutions are going to be selling whenever we would be seeing parabolic price action to make money for their top executives and their shareholders, which will see the returns being diminished more than we've ever seen in any previous bull market. And maybe we just go a little bit sideways from here until October. I think the much more likely scenario is that we're going to be seeing that supply crunch, and maybe things are going to go much higher than even I have been anticipating. And maybe we can see a lot of these price targets of about $200,000 that people have been talking about. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but if you believe in the long term viability of Bitcoin and crypto technology and you think it's going to change the world and Donald Trump is going to make America the crypto capital of the world, then yeah, these dips are probably a great buying opportunity in the short term, but especially in the long term. And it's probably best to just follow the old cliches like follow the trend until it ends and buy the dip, because right now we are in an uptrend. So that indicates that we're probably going to continue higher. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Are these institutions going to cause a supply crunch, or are they going to dampen any kind of parabolic price action that we see from this point on? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. But most importantly, don't forget to do only good every day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.